What's going on, everybody? Zerfelros here. We're bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content, and in this week's video, we've got Ultra League, and I'm getting the ELO today. So we've got Talonflame with Swampert, Shadow Swampert, and Politoed with Blizzard on the save swap. Very simple ABB double water team, but man, I went into this entire two sets looking to nuke some Trevenants. Spoiler alert, nuke any Trevenants by nuke some other stuff. So let's get right into the battles. There's not much here to really talk about. We're just going to get going right now. Talonflame on the lead against another Talonflame. How exciting. I don't play this lead out. I dip straight to Politoed. I'm going to get ahead on energy. The opponent's going to swap out because they don't want to stay in against the Politoed. They'll get to a weather ball before they even get to a move. So now the Gradient comes in. And Gradient is not exactly a good matchup for Politoed. So I'm probably going to lose this matchup, but I can burn the switch clock and I can throw a couple blizzards if I want to. Now, Gradient's not going to shield this, so I'm just going to go straight for it. Lanes of Blizzard. Here we go. It's Blizzard season. Gradient's going to throw a move. This is a long video, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Ultra League sucks. It's very long. The battles are so just drawn out because of these XLs, but going to bait now this Blizzard instead of going straight for it. I'm going to bait because now I can potentially get a shield, but the opponent said, no, I don't need switch here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to throw more Body Slam. So at this point, I'm like, all right, fine. I know I live a Body Slam, but I am going to get one more Weather Ball off. And then at this point, it's basically in farm range for Talonflame. And my Talonflame ahead of energy on their Talonflame is a good thing. But I'm going to switch in my Talonflame real quick to get ahead on energy or even with theirs now. And I'm going to go straight for Brave Bird. No Talonflame who swaps, almost nobody who swaps straight in goes straight for the Brave Bird. And the reason why is because you're switch locked. You don't want to go for a self-debuffing move, right? But this Talonflame is thinking that exact same thing. So I'm going straight for Brave Bird. I'm not even going to mess around. I want this thing gone. Gets almost out of here, dude. Look at this thing. I can just farm it down. Now I can shield. The Gradient is with such low HP that all it would take is probably just a couple of Incinerates. So they may come in with that and try and snipe down my Talonflame here, which is fine with me. Otherwise, I'm going to start ramping up with some no defense. But, oh, we get an Incinerate through. This is huge. But I'm going to let it go. Talonflame goes down. Green causes some pain. And now I've got Scrafty up against a two-shield Scrafty up against my Shadow Swampert with one shield. Unfortunately, this is not a matchup that I win, but I'm going to do my best. My hope here is that if I can catch a power-up punch, maybe I have a chance, right? So this is going to be the Scrafty throwing a bunch of power-up punches. I'm going to have to use my one shield on the next power-up punch. I'm trying to sneak energy, get ahead somewhere, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have much of a choice here. So unfortunately, my mistake was not shielding the Body Slam. I should have shielded because that would have been basically my Talonflame with 100 energy against a Scrafty, and then my Swampert could have cleaned up quite nicely after that. But unfortunately, my misplay turns into the win for the opponent, but that's okay. It happens. This was a very tough setup, and I had to basically decide whether I wanted to save a shield for Swampert, which is what some people would do, or shield the already debuffed Talonflame. So, gonna lose this one. Unfortunate. Can't win them all. But well played to my opponent. Very, very well done on their part. So, that's a good game. Hopping in to the next battle, we've got Talonflame against Charizard. Battle of the Flying Fire types. Let's go. Gonna dip out right away just like I do with the Talonflame lead. And I'm gonna basically chalk up an energy because I expect them to swap out at some point. I probably should have fired a Weather Ball off sooner, but that's okay. Since I have Blizzard, I'm just gonna start acting like I'm baiting an Earthquake against this Tapu Fini. But Tapu Fini is so bulky, it's like Greedent. It's literally Ultra League Azumarill. So this is going to be a matchup that's going to take a while because I can only really go for Weather Balls here, but I'm going to keep threatening an Earthquake because my opponent doesn't know I have Blizzard. So we're going to play this out. They're going to go for the Moonblast. I will shield up because I want to keep my Politoed alive if I can help it. I want to go for a switch here because Talonflame against Dragon Breath Charizard is not a super awesome matchup to be in. So I'm just going to keep wasting up the switch clock here. And my hope now is that I can either I can get this Tapu Fini out of here, and they're getting dangerously low, so I'm actually very close to being able to do so. If I just get another Weather Ball off, they might be in farm down range or another Weather Ball come through, and then afterwards. So I make the switch here to try go for an aggressive farm down against this Tapu Fini by switching in my Swampert. I'm giving up a swap here. But I'm expecting them to bring in not the Charizard. So I have now got the Charizard out here. I know this is probably just a Dragon Claw, so I'm going to let it go. And Hydro Cannon is going to come through and get the shield from this Charizard. So if I take out the Charizard, what ends up happening is my Talonflame hopefully doesn't get locked in against something that's not so good, but I'm going to be able to get to this next Hydro Cannon right before the opponent is able to take me out with Dragon Breath. And now we have to find out if the opponent decides to shield this as well. Yeah, they're going to shield that Hydro Cannon. They have to, right? So they're going to go down. My Politoed's still got a bunch of health left, so I'm going to be able to come in with that at some point and still be able to rely on it and not just use it as a third shield. My opponent now is, I believe, down no shields, and I don't have to shield anything here. Gonna dip right into Politoed, try and catch my opponent off guard here, throw this Weather Ball. And now, Weather Ball is going to come through and do quite a lot of damage to this Charizard. So that leaves Talonflame in a very good position with really no problems here, as long as the opponent doesn't have a super hard counter to my Talonflame. The Blast Burn is almost going to take out my Politoed here, and he's going to be able to take out with the Dragon Breath. Now, Talonflame, my one and only win condition here. I've got to ride this thing to the end, and hopefully they don't have anything that's going to take me out. Now, Tapu Fini is, I believe, is still back there, and it's pretty low, so I should be able to incinerate it down if I've got a shield still, but they've got a Swampert now, and I just have to make sure that they don't try to catch this move. And they try to catch the move too early. My opponent, unfortunately, swapped out on the wrong Incinerate. They needed to wait one more Incinerate in order to catch. So this is going to take out Swampert in one shot, and that's going to be a good game. Talonflame asserting its absolute dominance on the water types. All right, game 3 here we've got Talonflame against the Giratina. This is actually a really bad lead for this whole team, and I didn't really think about it when I made the team up. So I saw a few Giratinas, and I didn't do too bad against them. Essentially, what I try to do here is I try to keep farming up energy until they throw a move, and then throw my Brave Bird at the next available opportunity. Yeah, you can see my Talonflame has already taken like a ton of damage. So, gonna go for this Brave Bird. I'm either gonna get a shield or I'm gonna do a lot of damage. That's all right with me, and it's gonna do a lot of damage. I'm not gonna kaboom it because it didn't take too much out, but gonna go straight to Politoed. Now this Giratina is so low that I actually don't have to go for Blizzard. I can, but I don't have to, and that's gonna help me a lot because now I can actually get this thing out of the way for my Swampert to hopefully have a good time here. Love my monsters. Hashtag not a sponsor. But if they want to be a sponsor, I wouldn't mind. I'm going to go for these Weather Balls, let the Giratina throw its energy here. There's nothing they can do to threaten me. They're just chip damage. That's basically what Giratina's entire game plan is just overwhelm with bulk and do tiny little bits of damage here and there. So Weather Ball is going to come through and hopefully take out this Giratina, and that's going to allow me to see what they've got next. And what's my opponent going to have? They're not, they're waiting out a non-existent switch timer. So they're probably thinking about what to bring in, and they've got a Registeel. Registeel is unfortunately not going to be a good matchup for my Politoed because I'm not running Earthquake. So as far as this team goes, you can run Earthquake and it's totally fine. I just wanted to nuke some stuff with Blizzard. Like this, Gyarados comes in with 2 shields. Do you think they expect me to have Blizzard? I don't know, we're going to find out. There it is, the Blizzard hits the Gyarados. I'm going to swap in my Talonflame. Now that I know that they've got a Registeel in the back, I've got this game in the bag. I'm going to be able to hit this thing with a couple of Flame Charges and an Incinerate. I'm going to see if they want to shield, because as soon as they shield, I can just let Talonflame go down graciously and let Swampert clean house against this Registeel. But they let it go down, and now these Incinerate's going to chunk, and I'm going to force a shield here with Talonflame. Now, my opponent didn't shield because they expected me to have Earthquake. Most Politoads that you've put this much XL candy and dust into are going to have the investment. But now Swampert gets to come in and do its thing. So I'm going to I think I shield this up. I don't know if I shield. I know they can't one-shot me. Yeah, so I'm going to no shield this because even if it was a Focus Blast, it won't one-shot me. And then Zap Cannon doesn't do too much, and that just, my opponent just concedes the game. So well played, but unfortunately they had nowhere to go with their Registeel. They decided to swap out, expecting the Politoed to have Earthquake, so it was well played. Horrible lead here against the Deoxys. I go straight into Politoed. Still not a great matchup for Politoed, but I'm going to keep this alignment if I can. because if at some point I can help it, I want my Swampert on the Deoxys because that's a more effective matchup. My opponent brings in the Wall Rain, and now I'm just doing the same thing again. I have to go for Weather Balls. I can't seem to bait out a Trevenant for the life of me. So here comes another Weather Ball, and another Weather Ball, and another Weather Ball. If I could skip this part of the game, I would. Unfortunately, the software doesn't really appreciate me doing that. I've tried it before, and it completely restarts the whole thing, and it's a mess. So, just going to let them... I'm at this point, I'm just letting them do what they want. If they want to throw the Earthquake, that's fine. I don't really have a super hard and good answer to this Wall Rain. So we're just going to keep throwing Weather Balls until I can't throw them anymore. Which is... It is what it is. Wall Rain is so freaking annoying. But it's so good for a reason. You could probably even run Wall Rain, honestly, in the safe swap with this exact team if you wanted to. Icicle Spear doesn't even take me out here. So I'm going to be able to get to another Weather Ball and actually force a shield, I think, if they want to retain Switch. But the opponent can essentially either keep their shield or they can farm me down, whatever they want. They're kind of in control here, but they let it go, which is good for me. So Deoxys is going to come in, and now what's going to happen is I'm going to come up with my Swampert, because the only thing that they can do is threaten me with Psycho Boost. And if they throw a Rock Slide or a Thunderbolt, that's a resisted damage. So I'm going to let this go, and it is the Psycho Boost, and that does a decent chunk of damage. My opponent is staying in, so I'm going to go for the hardest hitting move, Earthquake, because it's Deoxys. I don't expect them to shield because they've got so much HP still. So Earthquake comes through and takes out about half the health of that thing, of the Deoxys. And now I've got Scrafty against my Talonflame, and this is a great place to be. Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea to go straight Brave Bird here, because sometimes the Scrafties don't even bother. They don't even bother shielding the first move because they know it's a Flame Charge. So could have been a better way, but they do shield up this Flame Charge because they know that if they don't, they're going to lose the game. So I'm just going to go straight Flame Charge, actually. I don't even need to go for the Brave Bird quite yet, because now that the Flame Charge is boosted, it puts this Scrafty in a range where it has to either shield or it's going to get farmed down. And now I did accidentally shield a Power-Up Punch. I had a thought. I was like, man, this could be a foul play right away. But no, they baited me very well. Opponent is going to go down to some Incinerates, though. I just need to shield this last move here if I want to, and I do. So, going to shield up this potential anything, because it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to come close to taking me out. And now I'm going to be able to come straight in with my Swampert, absorb the energy off of this Deoxys, which is probably, once again, just a Psycho Boost. But I survived it just barely, and I'm not going to be able to get to the move. So now all I'm going to be able to do is try to get to a Flame Charge, but unfortunately, my opponent is going to be able to outpace me, and they will get to this Psycho Boost probably. Yep, there it is. Unfortunately, that is a loss for me. My opponent just... They had the outs. That was really what it came down to. So, alright, we've got one more game here. We've got Cresselia on the lead versus Talonflame. As long as they're not running Future Sight, this is great for me, and since they're bailing out immediately, I'm assuming that means that they're probably running it. Now, they come in with Talonflame. Now, either way, I think that this is not a super great matchup for me to have to be in. As far as the Cresselia. So I want to keep one of these away from Cresselia and hope that I can keep alignment away from them. The Swampert and the Cresselia need to stay away from each other, essentially. So I need to do whatever I can to keep my Talonflame on the Cresselia, because if I don't, then that's basically a loss for me, because Cresselia's Grass Knots will one-shot just about my Swampert. So that's going to be a situation that I want to completely avoid here. So I'm going to continue to... play this matchup out. I do believe that I no-shielded the first Flame Charge because I knew a Brave Bird wasn't going to KO me from there, and I knew a Weather Ball was going to do plenty of damage if they debuffed themselves. So, opponent is also, I believe, looking to retain Switch advantage here, but unfortunately, they give up Switch, and now my Talonflame is locked in against them. So, I have to think that they've probably got a solid answer for Talonflame in the back, and that they were looking to bait it out. So, Flame Charge is going to come in. It's going to take care of this Cresselia, and Cresselia's got no shields left. So at this point, I can ramp up my Flame Charge damage, and it doesn't even matter what happens at this point. I can Brave Bird pretty much anything after this and destroy it. Now, opponent looks like they lagged a bit, and there's been a lot of this going around lately. I've noticed even in my own games, opponents getting like 3 or 4 free fast moves after my charge move. It's been so frustrating. So, Niantic, I know you're doing your best, but please, please, please. We need that fixed. It's game-breaking and terrible. So, Moonblast is coming from the Cresselia. I can farm down at this point. Almost. Opponent's going to be able to get to a move right before I finish farming down. And now, I just let it go because I knew it was a grass knot. I was counting. I didn't know it was a grass knot. So what I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to swap out and bank the energy. I know I've got enough energy for a Brave Bird if I want. I've got 100 energy on my Talonflame at this point. So they're coming in with their Talonflame. I'm immediately swapping into my Politoed with a Weather Ball ready. Going to take out the Talonflame immediately, and let's see what they got in the back. It's a Registeel, and there is absolutely nothing that my opponent can do because once the Swampert comes out, there's an Earthquake coming its way, and the opponent concedes, and that is a good game. Next game, here we go. We've got Talonflame versus Greedent. This is a pretty solid matchup. I hit rank 19 in the last set, so this is my rank 19 set where I went 4-1. I should have had a 5-0, and at the very end, I had a game stolen from me, and you will see why. So stick around to the end to find out. So Talonflame is going to ramp up its damage against this Greedent. I'm not really interested in like trying to mess with a Brave Bird and dip strategy because Greedent having that Bullet Seed makes it a very good matchup against both my waters. So I'm going to continue to throw my Incinerates and Flame Charges here. I actually would like to get this Greedent out of the game if I can help it. But the things that are usually behind a Greedent, typically anti-fighters like, oh, I don't know, Talonflame. Things that, you know, typically, you know, can handle the weaknesses. Steel and Fighting are two of the biggest weaknesses of Greedent. Excuse me. So I'm going to actually Incinerate down here because I want to win the lead. They come in with Nidoqueen. So anti-fighter, anti-steel, perfect. And there's a Scrafty. So and it's anti-steel, but it's not exactly anti-fire. But they've got Nidoqueen in the back. I've got a Talonflame with loaded energy when this Politoed goes down, so I can let the Politoed go down gracefully. I can just do as much chip damage to the Scrafty as I can muster in the time that I've got left because those power punches are going to start adding up very, very quickly. And so at this point, I'm just going to keep going. No reason to go for Blizzard here. No reason to do anything other than go for Weather Balls. Like I said, at this point, because I know that they've got the Nidoqueen back there, my Swampert's going to be able to handle the Nidoqueen very nicely as long as I save the shield for it. And they've already shielded the Scrafty, so my opponent is kind of wearing down at this point. They really want to keep their Scrafty alive for some reason. They don't even know what I have in the back. I think they just really want to ramp up their damage and try and land a foul play on whatever I've got in the back. So that's a good strategy. It would force my shield off of me. So I'm going to come in here now with the Talonflame, go for the Brave Bird. I was honestly expecting the Nidoqueen to catch here, so that's why I went straight for Brave Bird. So they're going to take it, which is fine. And even if they didn't swap out into Nidoqueen to catch that move, I wanted to give them as little farm as possible, so there was absolutely no point in going for Flame Charge. My opponent concedes as soon as they see the Swampert, and that's a good game. So next game, we've got Talonflame against Giratina. So another god-awful lead against Giratina. You all know what I'm going to do here. And this is a Shadow Claw Giratina, so it's not so bad for me. The Shadow Claw Giratina does far less fast move damage than the one that has Dragon Breath. But Shadow Claw is a better fast move, so I'm going to go again up to 4 because I want to be able to throw and Incinerate rather than give my opponent free moves in between the charge moves here. So Brave Bird's going to actually hit this Giratina, and once again, I'm going to dip straight to Politoed, and there's a regrettingly small amount of Blizzard nukes in this game. In this whole video, so I'm not falsely advertising anything. It just didn't happen the way I planned it. All right, there were no Trevenants in these two sets, and it makes me sad because that's exactly what I wanted. It was good for content. All right, don't at me. All right, so I'm gonna go for Blizzard here though. I may not be able to nuke a Trevenant, but I sure can freeze the tail off of a squirrel. So go hibernate, you stupid chunky squirrel. So Pidgeot's gonna, or not Pidgeot, Politoed. It doesn't have wings. It's a frog. Politoed is going to go for another Blizzard here. I learned from last time the opponent didn't bother shielding. I'm hoping this one doesn't either, and they don't. So that puts them in a very, very easy farm down range for my Talonflame, which is exactly what I'm kind of hoping to have happen here. I want to be able to land another Brave Bird on the Giratina if I can help it. Now, they do have enough energy for another Body Slam, and that sucks. However, the Giratina's low. If it comes back in just like that, that was a charge move, which is unfortunate. I think I have to shield this. Do I shield this? Yeah, I shield this. I shield up. I want to get another move off, so I go for the Flame Charge just in case they decide not to shield. My next Incinerate does that much more damage. If they do shield, sucks to suck. And they don't shield. My opponent is freaking genius because it doesn't even do enough damage to take him out. But they are going to throw energy here. They are afraid of my charge move, so that's okay. At this point, I will let it go. The Giratina is in the perfect farm down range for Swampert. Even if I have to tank one charge move, gladly going to do so. Swampert with loaded energy destroys everything and every meta ever that ever existed. So, works for me. And the Greedent is within farm down range as well. So if they try to bring that in, it's just going to get mud-shotted down. So let's see what my opponent has in the back. And can it handle a Swampert with a shield? Yeah, it's a Walrein. Of course it can. But they try to catch a move, and I'm allowed to farm down their Squirrel. Now, the real game begins. They've got 2 shields, so I'm going to start baiting. Hydro Cannon's going to go through. Walrein decides to shield. I'm going to do it again. Hydro Cannon coming through. Are they going to shield it up again? Maybe, maybe not. But the win condition here is that I land an Earthquake, and then a Hydro Cannon. So I need to get their shields out. They did shield that. Visual bug. They did shield it. So I do have to shield this up. My win condition at this point is to land an Earthquake and a Hydro Cannon. So I'm counting their moves, and I swap immediately as soon as they get to the next Powder Snow, or the next Icicle Spear, and I catch the move on Politoed. Now all I need to do is land this Earthquake and a Hydro Cannon right after, and look how much energy I've got. There's no way I don't get there, right? Let's find out. Let's see how much damage this Earthquake does. Shadow Swampert coming in clutch. Doing a ton of damage on the Walrein, and we're going to get to this Hydro Cannon on the CMP, and that is going to take out the stupid fat Walrus. Swampert asserting its dominance. Politoed being the meat shield we always knew it was. That's a good game. Well played to my opponent. I almost didn't win that one. That was a really good game. My opponent played that so well. And we've got another freaking Giratina. Dude, I'm about to bust out my Mandibuzz or something. This is getting ridiculous. I've seen so many Giratinas lately. So it's another Dragon Breath Giratina, so I've still got to play it out the same way. Going to go up to about 4 because I expect him to throw at some point. But my opponent decides not to throw this time. So I'm going to go for this Brave Bird here, and then I'm going to dip because I kind of have to. And they shield up this particular Brave Bird, so that's going to help me. I've got to shield up my opponent. Do they expect the Blizzard? That is the question. I'm really hoping that they don't want to spend their second shield because I'm going to go straight for Blizzard. They're not swapping out. So my opponent's dumping their energy on my Politoed. I guess they just don't like my Politoed. Maybe they've got Registeel in the back. Maybe they've got a Talonflame in the back. So I'm going straight for the Blizzard. And I'm actually not expecting them to shield this. So I've got my hands ready on the screenshot button and I'm ready to go. And my opponent shields it and my stupid ass, takes a screenshot of a shield. So that got thrown in the trash very quickly. And at this point, my opponent's going to farm me down. I'm going to do a little bit of damage with a Weather Ball before I go down. But I tried it, man. I tried to flex, and it just didn't. I failed miserably. But I've got 2 shields up. I've got a Talonflame, and I've got a Shadow Swampert. So no matter what they've got in the back, I've got some play here. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to go up to the Brave Bird on my Talonflame. I'm going to try to throw it, but they get there right before. 1 turn before my Talonflame is going to be able to get to a move. Now I'm going to shield this up in case it's Ancient Power. It's probably not, but just in case. I'm going to throw 1 more. They've got so much energy, dude. Oh, my God. I can't shield this, though. I know it's a Dragon Claw. It's fine. So at this point, my opponent is not going to swap out to catch any moves. So I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird and then probably dip to my Swampert. With the shield left, I'm really hoping that whatever they've got in the back is not going to be able to take Swampert out. And what they've got is a Registeel. I love Registeels, man. I love dunking on Registeel so much. So I'm going to be able to get to this Earthquake right now, right here and now. This Registeel is going to fall into the ground, into the cracks of the earth, because Swampert is an absolute monster. And I'm going to shield up this move because it's probably Zap Cannon or Focus Blast. Doesn't matter what it is. I can still swap out to my Talonflame to clear this debuff, but all I got to do now is get to a Hydro Cannon. But I'm actually going to go ahead and farm up a bunch because I'm counting. So it takes 7 of my Mud Shots before they get to a Focus Blast, and it takes them exactly 8, so 16 turns to get to a Zap Cannon. So right before they get to that one, get to the 7th, my 7th Mud Shot, rather. I'm going to go ahead and throw that so that they can't get a Focus Blast off on me. And now it's Talonflame. There's no way they win this because I've got so much energy. And now Shadow Swampert sweeps the absolute dust from this team under the rug. And that's a good game. You can have a kaboom for that because Shadow Swampert hits that hard. Very well played to my opponent, though, as always. I'm in like the 2300 elo range at this point. People that I'm playing are stupid good at this game right now. So we've got a A9 lead into my Talonflame. Couldn't ask for a better lead, but they come in with a Regirock, and I've got 2 super solid answers to it. However, I choose not to come in with Swampert because Swampert actually can't do very well when it takes a Focus Blast, so I would have to give up a shield. At least with Politoed, I'm not taking any really hard-hitting moves. Like Stone Edge still hurts, but look, I can take like 3 Stone Edges before I go down. So that's all fine and dandy. Politoed is going to be able to out-tank, but not necessarily out-bulk the Regirock because it gets the Stone Edges so quickly, and those Stone Edges hurt a lot. I'm already down in a range where I have to give up shields and farm, so essentially I just didn't want to come in with my hardest counter, because if they're trying to bait out my Swampert, then I want to be able to keep my Swampert in the back. So Politoed is kind of the less dominant but still good answer to the Regirock. So can I get to the Weather Ball? No, I can't, but they come in with a Wall Rain, so Wall Rain is a pain in the rear end for me. I kind of have to come in with my Talonflame. I am up a shield, so that does help. So I'm going to go straight for Flame Charge in this scenario. Gonna just take the move, because I don't need to really shield until I'm almost at no HP. So since I can do that, I'm going to be able to get these Flame Charges off pretty well here. And as soon as I get to the second one, they're going to have to start shielding up. And we already know that they've got the Charm Ninetales, and they've got the Regirock with probably a Stone Edge loaded, but very little health left. So I'm in a pretty good spot here with my Swampert, as long as I save a shield for it so it doesn't get a Weather Ball or a bunch of charms. As long as it has enough energy and a shield to take out the Ninetales, I'm in a pretty good spot here, because if the Regirock decides to come in against it, I can literally just farm it down and shield up that way. So, I mean, Charm Ninetales can't tank more than basically it can't tank more than, you know, 1 or 2 Hydro Cannons before it's basically screwed. So I'm going to come in with my Swampert here, and I will decide, I think I shield this, because I know that the Stone Edge isn't going to do enough damage to really threaten me. So now we're going to get the farm in, and I'm going to come in here with my Politoed, because I'm getting to the Weather Ball before they can get to a move. But I can get to the Weather Ball before they can lock on farm me down. So I force them to throw energy, but they've got another move loaded. So this has to be a Stone Edge, because they got there way too quick. So resisted Stone Edge is going to hit a little bit on Swampert. Swampert with loaded energy against this Ninetales just needs a couple of Hydro Cannons to take out the Ninetales. And I can literally just farm down the Walrus because it's low on HP. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake, because it is definitely the harder hitting move here. I want to guarantee that I take this thing out in 2 shots. I don't want to leave it up to chance, even though I know Hydro Cannon is fine. And because they just swapped out, I'm not worried about them catching a move. So at this point, just going to take out the Ninetales, and that is a good game. Very well played to my opponent. The end of it, though, Swampert was just too much with the energy, and that was it. So I think they left the game. So if you're out there, don't close the app at the end of a game if you lose. Just hit the surrender button and leave. You don't have to BM your opponent. You got beat. Just accept it. There's no point in closing the app. So another god-awful lead with Deoxys here. So my opponent's going to come with Registeel. This is already looking like hard counter city, so I'm kind of screwed. But my Swampert has play against the Registeel, and it has play against the Deoxys as long as I've got shields or energy. So we're just looking to play this out here. I'm going to throw as many Weather Balls as I can muster at this Registeel, and I'm not shielding this. They kind of hard countered me at this point. If it's Zap Cannon, so be it. That does hurt a lot, though, so I'm going to give you that button right there just because it needs to happen. That's a lot of my HP bar just gone. So I'm just going for Weather Balls at this point. My opponent kind of can expect that I don't have Earthquake, so they're not going to shield at this point, and I have no point in going for Earthquake. So yeah, I'm just gonna spam. I'm gonna try. I'm thinking maybe at this point, maybe I swap out, preserve my Politoed, because this is kind of looking like a drawn out match here. So I've also got 2 super solid answers that can farm down this Registeel with relative ease. So I'm gonna get a bunch of energy, and my opponent is gonna swap out on me, banking the energy on their Registeel. Now, this is the last battle in this game. I want you to remember that Registeel had a move loaded. I remember the Registeel has move loaded. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a shield for the Registeel, because I know that Zap Cannon is going to hurt. I'm so mad. This game actually made me very angry. So I will shield this up. They probably are going for Psycho Boost. If they do, great. Because now that their attack is debuffed, I basically don't have any other damage to worry about here. And if they've got Registeel, it's in farm down range. I can just supply 1 shield to whatever I've got out to not get blasted by whatever it is. and then I'm hoping that my Swampert and or my Talonflame with a shield can handle whatever comes out. So Hydro Cannon's coming through from this Swampert. Going to take out the defense form Deoxys. Their Registeel is very low. I could farm it down if I shielded, so they're probably not coming in with it, but they come with an Umbreon. Now, anybody in my Discord already knows what happens in this battle. So you're going to find out in about a minute. About a minute. Yeah, that's about how long this takes. So I'm going straight for Earthquake because I don't expect him to shield the first move. I hit him with the heavy hitting move, and I'm not going to shield this because I know at this point my Talonflame can easily handle whatever this Umbreon has, and I'm going to be able to get one more Hydro Cannon off before going down. So I'm leaving it all up to Talonflame now, and I also know that my Politoed has a ton of energy in the back. So Talonflame is going to come in and start getting these Incinerates through. I'm going to start ramping up my Flame Charge damage, and if my opponent decides at any point now to come in with Registeel, try to catch his move, or throw a Zap Cannon, I can shield, literally farm it down, and then destroy. So, you see an Umbreon there, right? Right? No, it's Registeel with Zap Cannon. And I lose the game simply because of that. So, well played, Niantic. Thanks for visual bugging the battle, and I lost count, so I didn't really realize what happened. So, yeah, that was great. So, here's my elo, guys. It's 2260. That's my starting elo for the season. Not a bad place to start. Pretty happy with it, honestly. So, I'm still mad about that Zap Cannon, man. I had that game in the bag. I had a shield. I was waiting for it and everything, but since they decided not to show me the Registeel and gave me an Umbreon, like, even if you go back and look, the top right of the screen was literally still Umbreon. Like, we can go back and look at that, I think. Can we? Look at this. 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 We can literally go back and watch this. See? You see it right there? The Umbreon is right there. Anyway, so while we're waiting for this to show back up so I can show everybody how much of a pain in the butt this was, I want a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for all of your kindness and your... See, you're going to see me come out of this, and it's going to be Umbreon with the freaking Dark-type move on top there. It's going to be stupid. Look at this. No, maybe not. All right. Anyway, beforehand, it didn't update or anything, so there's no way I would have known. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, like the video. Just let me know in the comments how your Ultra League rotation is going. And if you're looking to hit Legend or do better in Go Battle League, or in general in this game, maybe for Sylph, I do offer coaching, and I have a Patreon that allows you access to my Discord to get all of these teams before they go live on YouTube and anywhere else. So if you're interested in that, please check out the description or the video link, or in the video. The links are down below under my head here. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Catch you in the next one, rather. Have a good one. Bye.